Hey everyone, and welcome back to OntarioCryptids. I hope everyone had a great transition to your children heading back to school this past week. I know of a few young moms whose 4-year-olds are heading to school for the first time, JK obviously, and they've had a terrible time this past week due to separation anxiety. Anyways, today's episode is number 75. So as usual, I will be thanking those who have commented regularly on my last 5 videos. So without further ado, a special thanks goes out to Bender, Jean, and Sky King. I also want to thank all the recent subscribers and the rest of you subscribers who come back each week to watch these episodes. Thank you all so very much. As you know, I'm always looking for great stories to be shared on this channel. So if you have a story that you would like to share in a safe environment, then forward your encounter stories to OntarioCryptids@gmail.com. Today I have 4 stories to share with you all. Today's topic comes from a viewer who has recently asked whether I have heard of any Dogman encounters in Minden, Ontario. Unfortunately, I have not, but I did find some in southern Ontario. Okay, go grab yourself a beverage and get cozy on your couch or chair and sit back and relax. All right, so this first encounter takes place either October or November of 2014. Time was around 3 p.m., so it was, late afternoon. And it takes place in the Hamilton region. I was driving home from work on a 6-lane highway heading west into Hamilton, Ontario. As I drove on my side of the highway, I saw a dog cross from left to right. That area is full of trees, bushes, channels, and ravines of water that are offshoots of Lake Ontario. When I saw the dog, it was approximately half a kilometer ahead of me. The astonishing aspect of this dog, and I'm certain it was a dog, was that its length from nose to rump, excluding its tail, covered almost the full width of the lane. 8 feet. Where it was heading was back into a small valley filled with heavy forestation and a ravine. I couldn't believe a dog could grow to that size. I still remind my boyfriend of this occasionally, and I have no other witness. So this next encounter takes place on August 9th, 1965, and it takes place in Smithville, Ontario. The Hamilton Spectre reported on August 16th, 1965, that a truck driver from Lakeview claimed to have seen a half-human, half-animal beast, 6 or 7 feet tall, on the side of the road near Smithville. The man estimated it weighed 500 pounds. A secondary source reported that it was covered with hairs, had powerful shoulders, a head that seemed too small for its body, and inordinately long arms. The truck driver went back to look for tracks, but never found none. All right, so this one takes place in 1965. It takes place in the area of Cook's Mills, and I don't believe Cook's Mills is around anymore, but this general area that you see now is the new section of the old Cook's Mills. I will try to describe what happened as briefly as possible. It was in the late spring, early summer, and my boyfriend at the time and 2 of my closest friends were driving through Cook's Mills. This area has now been incorporated into part of Niagara Falls. It was evening, and it was a dark country road with a lot of fields and bush areas. I wasn't paying attention to the road until I heard the others yelling about something. I looked through the windshield and I saw what looked like a large wolf standing in the middle of the road. And by standing, I mean upright or bipedal. This creature was framed in the car's headlights and looked to me to have been in the process of running across the road. It stood perfectly still but slowly turned its head to stare at us. After about 5 to 10 seconds, it turns its head back and ran across the road and into the bush on the other side. It ran on its hind legs as if that were natural. The males in the car wanted to get out and chase it, while my girlfriend and I were locking the doors and rolling up the windows. We told them that if they got out of the car, we would drive off and leave them there. So we continued on to the falls. Here are a few facts I observed during this brief period. 1. The creature looked to be the size of an average wolf if it were standing upright, maybe a bit taller. 2. Although it made no aggressive moves towards us, I had a distinct feeling that it was thinking about coming over and decided not to. 3. The eyes were intelligent and they had an almost amused look in them, as if it knew we were scared and found it amusing. 4. I had the impression it could see us in the car, even though it was dark and our headlights would have made it impossible to see in. 5. I was extremely grateful that it decided not to investigate us. All right, so this one takes place July 19th, 2016, and it takes place in Fort Erie, Ontario. First, I have never heard of Dogman until I posted this in Reddit's Ghost Stories. Previous to finding out that these sightings were called Dogman, I had only thought to search werewolf-like creatures when I Googled it. I found a sighting story from Niagara Falls, which is only about 30 minutes away from me. The details were so similar to our experience, it felt like I had copied and pasted their experience. But I assure you, this is 100% truthful personal experience, and I would not have believed my eyes if I'd been alone. The story. It was July 19th, 2016. I remember the date because we had our annual Christmas in July at my in-laws, and it was a crazy full moon. We had left to head home, and we took the back way. We live in a somewhat rural area, so the back way is very dark, no traffic at that time of night, and the speed limit is 60 kilometers per hour. As we were driving along, and about 5 minutes from home, out of the corner of my eye towards the forest on the passenger side, I catch a glimpse of something moving fast. The moment my foot hits the brake, my wife's hand grabs my leg, getting goosebumps as I type this, as it was a crazy experience. We come to a screeching halt in the road, and whatever it was stopped dead in front of us. It cocked its head to look at us. We both at the same time said, "Do you see that?" It was huge. Best guess, 7 feet tall. It had yellow eyes that glowed from the headlights. And it was muscular and skinny at the same time. The most memorable feature, though, were its legs. It 100% looked like a dog walking upright with the cocked angle in its leg. No sooner did it stop and glare at us did it continue to bolt across the road and vanish into the forest on my driver's side. The only way we have ever been able to describe it was werewolf-like. And like I said, my wife and I both agreed. If we had not both witnessed it, I'd have called myself crazy and never mentioned it. But we both saw it. All right, there you have it, guys. The first Dogman stories on this channel. And I want to thank the viewer for requesting it. Unfortunately, I did not find anything in Minden, Ontario, but I did find something in Hamilton and let's say the Welland and Niagara region, Erie region, all very, very south, very close to the American border, which is kind of interesting because most of the stories I ever hear of that has to do with Dogman are generally from the States. We don't tend to hear a lot of Dogman stories up here in Canada. Nevertheless, these ones all took place in a very tight area of southern Ontario. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed those stories. If you guys have any other requests or any recommendations, please let me know. I know we tend to do a lot of Bigfoot, Sasquatch stories, but generally they are the ones that are more prevalent. There are a lot of UFO stories out there. However, there's no real story to them. It's just somebody standing there taking a video of a flying object they're seeing in the sky, and there's no main story around it. So, I mean, if we do, no, we're not going to do on this channel. But if we do another UFO story, maybe we'll do a collection of people's sightings and kind of talk to it in that perspective. So there's probably not going to really be a encounter, but more of visual sightings. We'll see. But anyways, guys, that's going to be it for today. So I want to thank you guys for coming out and checking out these stories today. And if these stories reminded you of an encounter that you may have had and would like to share, then please forward your stories to OntarioCryptids@gmail.com. I would be honored to share your story on this channel. Thank you again for listening until the end. I truly appreciate it. Please hit that like button on your way out and smash that subscribe button if you're new to my channel. And most of all, guys, have a safe and wonderful weekend. And we'll see you all next week.